Whoa, Doug Mirabelli, you know you're my fucking hero. Oh, I used to call you Pasta Pants, and you're my fucking hero. Oh, Doug Mirabelli, you know you're my fucking hero. I used to call you Disco Doug and Pasta Pants. You're my fucking hero. Disco Doug, Pasta Pants, Doug Mirabelli. God bless you, man. I love you. I love you so much. When he was traded, or left the Red Sox rather, to go to the San Diego Padres, I wanted to get a 28 Mirabelli shirt in 2005. And I was ordering through the San Diego Padres website. And the problem with the San Diego Padres is they don't sell merch quite as much as the Boston Red Sox do. So we already had who the opening day roster was. You could get their shirt on the MLB website with their name and number on the back of a t-shirt. In 2005. And of course, because that was that team coming on the field were defending champions, and Boston being so swept up after 2004 with, breaking the curse, handing the Yankees the most crushing, awful, humiliating loss in the history of baseball. They will forever be the biggest chokers in the history of baseball. Let no Yankee fan ever forget that NY will always stand for the biggest choke ever. Remind them daily that 17 years ago they did this. They can take their 27 championships and shove them right up their ass, because they're still the biggest chokers ever. And Disco Doug was a part of that. Anyhow, so the San Diego Padres, like I said, they had Doug Mirabelli to start the 2005 season. And I had already had a 28 Red Sox t-shirt with Mirabelli on the back, but the letters started to fall off my Mirabelli shirt. So I wanted a Padres one, because my move was that 2004 team I loved so much. Honestly, at that point, I didn't know that they would win another 3 World Series after that, which was pretty awesome. I didn't know that they were going to win another 3 after that. So I celebrated that team so much that I had already bought Bill Miller was another one of my favorites. He went to the Dodgers. I got an 11 Miller for the Dodgers, because it was like, you know what, I'm celebrating each one of these guys. I got, I think there was one more. I can't really remember who that left that I got their shirt. I think it might have been Pedro, who went to the Mets, which definitely stung, but he was still Pedro, and I love him so, so much. I still do to this day. But as I still love Bill Miller, and as I still love Mirabelli. However, back to the Mirabelli story here. Mirabelli had no listing on the 2005 Padres as far as buying the shirt, because Joel Randa was still 28 for the Padres. And I was pissed. I'm like, well, how about I just customize one? So I made one 28 Pasta Pants, which is what me and my buddy Ian used to call Doug Mirabelli every time he came up. It was just a nickname that we had for our Italian buds. Me and Ian both have an Italian blood in us, a little bit. So, or Italian relatives, we can get away with that, sorta, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, hey, how you doing? Happy Saturday. It's Saturday, October 2nd. And I hope everybody's doing good. I'd like to say hello to y'all. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're all right. Your old Uncleboi He's a little light. Welcome to the Uncleboi Show. My little intro with Doug Mirabelli, who was the man. Disco Doug, Pasta Pants, the best backup catcher in baseball history. You might have a favorite backup catcher. You might have somebody who you think is better than Doug, and that's fine. That's totally okay. But I don't agree with you. I think Disco Doug was definitely the best backup catcher in baseball. And I'd like to also say that last week was kind of cool for me. Well, sort of. Always is. That's that last week of September is my grandmother and grandfather have birthdays on back-to-back days. First grandpa's on the 27th, and then Nana's on the 28th. And this would have been my Nana's 100th birthday, so happy heavenly birthday to Johnny Joseph O'Neill and Miss Margaret Kavanaugh O'Neill, my Nana and Pa. And I miss him so much. I love him so much. My grandpa was my hero. He really was. He was a grumpy old man, but he was my grumpy old man. And oh boy, did he love us. And my Nana also. What a strong, fierce, just force of nature woman she was. And I hope I'm making them proud, I hope I was their firstborn grandson, and, with that, I think assumed a little bit of, responsibility, I suppose. But really, honestly, they spoiled me so rotten and treated me so well that, all right, Nana and Pa, I'll stop being so mushy here. As a, once again, it's a good thing these aren't videos, because I'm over here sobbing like a little kid. I do that sometimes. I'm one of those quick to laughs, quick to tears, sons of bitches. But anyway, back to baseball, man. I think it. So my grandpa's favorite thing was baseball, and that's why I started loving baseball. I'd say kind of like right around I was 9 or 10. That's when I really got into it. I had already previously been super into pro wrestling and super into rock and roll, hair metal and the pop music that was dominating MTV mostly. But also I was starting to get into the stuff my uncles were feeding me, be it AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, Aerosmith. They really loved Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. I wasn't much for Neil Young or Crosby, Stills and Nash. They love that stuff. But every time I hear anything from those guys, I think about my Uncle Tom and my Uncle John, because they loved them so much. And a big shout out to Uncle Tom and Uncle John, who also loved baseball, and also, I'm sure, took me to several games as a kid and whatnot. My favorite player as a kid, when I was a young guy, was Jim Rice, and he was just a man. And I remember I liked a guy one year, Nick Asaski. I just liked his name, Nick Asaski. He was a first baseman, and he had a career year with the Red Sox, and we thought he was going to be our first baseman. Kind of, they had this was like the early 90s, and they had already had some moderate success. They had won the AL East a couple times. Could never beat the Oakland A's, because that was when Oakland had the Bash Brothers and Eckersley and Dave Stewart, and they kicked the hell out of everybody. They were a force. I think, but it amazes me that they only won one World Series, because they were so dominant over the AL. It really goes to show you that the pitching of some of those teams, like some of the teams that wound up beating the A's, be it whether it was the Blue Jays or the Minnesota Twins or or the Cincinnati Reds one year in the World Series, or some of the pitching that actually was on the teams that did wind up beating the A's really just goes to show how much of a premium that pitching was. Because the A's had good pitching, but not great. Like Dave Stewart was the man, but after him, you had Bob Welch, who had that one career year. And then really a bunch of guys who were just serviceable, pretty good big league starters that benefited from how strong the A's were. Anyway, Nick Esaski, we thought he was going to be the power hitter of the future. He winds up signing a big deal with the Atlanta Braves, his hometown team. Guess it would be the equivalent of me having a career year with fucking, I don't know, friggin' some other, to the Seattle Mariners. Like, I come up, I'm this, serviceable big leaguer. I come up, I hit 30 home runs and help a team have an okay season, and then it's my, free agent. I can pretty much go where the hell I want. I'm going to go to the Boston Red Sox, of course, because that's the team I dreamed of playing for when I was a little kid, So he got to do that. The poor bastard winds up getting vertigo really bad, and it ruined his big league playing career. So Nick Esaski, man, thanks for that one season. That one season when you were one of our boys this summer. You were something else, Nick. And then, I had a slew of guys who I kind of liked, but Pedro Martinez and Disco Doug. Well, Disco Doug was the man, but Pedro Martinez was the best damn pitcher that I ever saw. A lot of people will point at Clemens or whoever. I always thought Clemens was a bag of shit. Kind of I love the guy as a pitcher. Don't get me wrong. I loved watching him pitch, but there was just something about him that I didn't find likable. Whereas Pedro, I found super charming and fun and hilarious. And he spoke his second language better than Roger Clemens spoke his first. And, whatever. I shouldn't make this a total bash Clemens thing because who knows? I might meet the man someday and think he's okay. However, I know people who have worked in the service industry that had to deal with him, and they tell me about just how straight up rude he was. And, you know what? Fuck Roger Clemens. He's an asshole. Forget about him. But, yeah, man. So Pedro, he helped us take us to the promised land in 2004, and since then, boy, have we become spoiled ass fans, huh? We really are. We're on the precipice right now. It's as of today, I think we've got the second wild card spot there. I guess that play-in game. I think they'd wind up that, and they'd wind up doing it against the Yankees, which is pretty cool. I think. I don't know. One of you folks who know baseball a lot better than me. But anyway, the Sox are about to have a 90-win campaign. They're about to maybe sneak into the playoffs, even though they've had a bad or, lackluster September and August. They weren't great, but this was a solid boys of summer. They weren't stars by any means. Chris Sale coming back helped get some wins, and I wish we had him for the rest of this year because he's a stud. But I love Nate Eovaldi. I love all this stuff. A lot of I love Alex Verdugo. I love Christian Vasquez. He's my guy. I just think he might not have the stats that jump out at you, but he's a ball player. Just a real try-hard dude who goes out there and gets after it. I love Devers and Bogey, even though I think Devers should be at first base and Bogey should be at third. They're just not great defensive players, and that's really shown in the second half. I love them though. I love watching them hit. They're great hitters. I think Hunter Renfroe was a great pickup. I'm still always a diehard Sox fan, and as much as I love Neil Diamond, I can't listen to Sweet Caroline anymore. You guys killed it for me. I'm sorry. I used to be okay with it, especially maybe post 2004 for a little while, just because I was still on the happy sauce from all that. And I guess if I was at a game and people are having enough fun, I'm not gonna poo-poo on them. But it does slightly annoy me. I guess that by the little bit of a cynic comes out when I hear Sweet Caroline. I'm like, ugh, this song again. But you know what? There's only small modicums of fun sometimes in life, right? And how dare I or anybody else get in the way of anyone else's fun? You have fun singing Sweet Caroline, folks? Do it. I'd pretty much rather hear you say Sweet Caroline than Yankees suck. And as much as I, have a disdain for the Yankees, I'm always a Sox fan. But, yep, that's right, folks. We're live, pal, and I'll blow my nose on here. As much as I have a disdain for the Yankees, I don't like the Yankee sucks chant very much for two reasons. Number one, I don't like seeing little kids saying it, even though it's kind of funny. But still, I just think going back to my grandfather, he wouldn't have liked that. And he wouldn't have agreed with you either, because he'd say, they don't suck, they've got good ball players. What are you talking about? He says, the Yankees are out there trying to win ball games. Do they overpay for their guys? Yeah, sure, but everybody overpays for their guys. They drive up the price on the free agent market? Yeah, sure they are. But if they didn't do it, the Dodgers would, right? Think about it. The Yankees don't suck. The Yankees are our rival. The Yankees are our hated rival. The Yankees do not suck because we can't allow them to suck. We kind of need them to be good. The real baseball fans are that I know for the most part are Sox and Yankee fans. I have met some real awesome San Francisco Giant fans, though. Let me tell you, the Bay Area, you folks from that area, you do love your baseball. Be it and same with the Oakland fans. You guys, they make some noise in that shitty stadium. That area does love its baseball, and I really hope the A's get a good stadium. I mean, I feel like Oakland is one of those American cities that gets the shit end of the stick because they're right next to San Fran, where all the money is, I guess. And the Oakland is a smaller market for baseball and, of course, football, which they wound up losing their team, which I still think is a travesty. They should never freaking lose. I'm not against the team in Vegas at all. I'm not against the team anywhere. I think, honestly, every state should have a team, and there it is. Have 50 teams, have 100 teams. Don't make more games. Just, what I mean? More teams doesn't kill it. It might saturate the market for players, but so what? Everybody should. What the hell? You know what I mean? Sports is sports. It's entertainment, folks. Let's not take ourselves that seriously. Anyway, forget about it. That's just one idiot's thoughts. Enough about sports. I just ranted 18 minutes about baseball, folks. I hope I didn't alienate a lot of you folks who are anti-sports ball. Sports ball. Let's talk about that word for a minute, huh? You guys who don't care for sports and whatever. I hear you. There's mediums of entertainment I don't care for. I don't care for romantic comedies. Not that I have anything against them, and not that I haven't seen some that I liked, and not that I think if you like them, there's something intrinsically wrong with you. No, it's just a form of entertainment, and so is sports. I do agree with people who see the toxicity in sports fandom, especially when it gets, a belligerent or violent, of which I've been both. Not really for sports, though. I mean, I've never gotten into a fist fight over sports. That's got to be one of the dumbest things anybody can get into a fist fight over. Not that there's a bevy of good reasons to get into a fist fight, but that has to be near the bottom of the list. If you're going to punch somebody in the face, because of the jersey they have on, you're a real piece of shit. Yeah, but anyway, so I do understand what people say about, like, the the toxic sort of environment that it brings. And being somebody who is, dude, I've been in the tailgate for Patriots games, and I went to a Jets game once years and years ago, and dude, like, yeah, fans are trash. They can be. They certainly can be. Packs of young men on light beer and who knows what. There's a lot of toxic masculinity there. I'm not going to tell you there's not, but at the same time, I think if maybe ignore the more banal and awful parts of it and sort of exploit the good. Is also not a bad thing. There's awful parts of pretty much every form of entertainment. It's the same with music. It's the same with with movies and a lot of other art. There's stuff that's cool. There's stuff that sucks. There's fandom that sucks, and I'm not gonna argue. I think some of the people who say sports ball have a reason. Once you say sports ball, you've automatically dropped like 50 points in my eyes, though. Like you just turned into a cliche essentially. And maybe I just became one by talking about freaking sports for 20 minutes here, but anyway, I will digress. You all know me, it's your old Uncleboi, and I'm happy to be here. Happy to be talking at you. I hope you're listening. Some of y'all are. I've gotten some great feedback from some of y'all. Thank you so much for anybody who's reached out, for anybody who's listened, for anybody who's subscribed. You guys rule. I hope I'm going to keep doing this once a week. I hope it's entertaining you. I hope it might be just, giving you a little break from your day or whenever you're listening at your night, your morning, however. I try to upload them every Saturday. I'm only doing them on YouTube. I'm pretty sure somebody told me yesterday that it was pretty easy to upload it to Spotify. I'm going to look into that. And we'll go from there. But right now, I'm just going to stick with what I know and just keep uploading it to YouTube. Hope the word gets out there. You folks enjoy it. If you're enjoying it, great. If you have anything you want me to talk about, please drop a comment. Hit me up on Facebook. Hit me up on Instagram. I'm on Facebook at Tommy Hardy. I'm on Instagram at Uncleboi Tommy. And, man, let me know. I'm a relatively friendly guy. I don't always shoot a message back, depending if I'm at work or on my way to work or doing life shit or whatever. But I always try to. And, yeah, man. So, as I said in previous episodes, I was kind of hesitant to say exactly where I live, but I'll just come right out with it. I live in Salem. It is October, and Salem in October is a damn madhouse. The touristas are everywhere, and for the most part, it's a real positive vibe, though. People do enjoy themselves. They do. They overflow the trash bins a little bit and forget about trying to get into a restaurant, a sit-down one. In downtown, you're going to be waiting a while, and forget about parking if you're coming up here, and forget about, pretty much doing anything you would normally do around October. I'm slightly lucky that I live close enough to Marblehead, which is a neighboring town, and I'm up by the college, so it's like I'm a little bit tucked away from it. But I still have my oh shit moments where I look outside and it's an absolute nightmare. I live close to the Hocus Pocus house. Now, I'll tell you, for a movie that was just a very small blip on my radar, that was just like a kid's Halloween movie from the mid-'90s that I never seen it. I've still to this day never seen it. I do enjoy Bette Midler, so maybe I should see it because I think she's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, man, it wasn't geared to me. It was definitely a movie that was geared to little kids. When I was about to be a grown ass man or an aging teen, as it were, it wasn't on my ballpark. I didn't realize the fandom around this movie. because it was only out in theaters for a blip. And I guess, like many of the movies that I love, the young kids who were obviously geared that movie was geared to them. The young kids are now adults now. They're tracking down the places to where that movie was filmed. And guess where that movie was filmed, folks? Salem, Massachusetts. That's right. And I live right around the corner from one of the houses. And I think that's like, I look outside, I'm like, man, where are they all going down that street? And I didn't realize. It's funny, I'd walked by that house a bunch of times. I forget which of the characters' houses it was. Once again, I haven't seen the movie, but I know it's a certain character's house that I live by. And it's a really cool looking house just anyway, so I can see why they picked it, because it's really cool looking. It's sort of like, so the street it's on goes downhill, right? And the house, like the bottom level of the house, goes with the hill. It's built on that slope, and it looks really cool. It's a very, very cool looking house. So I totally see why they picked it. And I didn't realize, it's funny, I think it's just and once again, this is just a Gen X against millennial thing, where I'm definitely that Gen Xer who didn't miss the boat on this movie, if you will. And these younger millennials and Gen Z kids who, they were the perfect age for said movie. They love that movie and celebrate it, and they want to see where all of the places where they filmed it, and it's all right here in the old 1970. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool to see. Yeah, man. So there's a lot of things I love living up here. The least of which, of course, is October. But I mean, we deal with October. It's like one of the, every resident will tell you, it's par for course. You just deal with it. Stay away from the commuter rail on the weekends because it's going to be a zoo. Stay away from downtown on the weekends. It's going to be a zoo. Get your shopping done on the weekdays, off hours, things like that. We do. I've met a lot of lifers up here who've grown up here that are my homies and peoples, and they've given me ample October tips, and they've all come to fruition. And I'm very grateful for that. One of the things I love about living up here is there's awesome people up here. There's awesome food up here. I love living so close to the water. I'll tell you, being a kid from the brick jungle where it was like, not that we were built over the water. We were built over the Miller River, but it wasn't like we have like a body of water we could go sit around by. Nobody really wanted to sit around by the Mystic River. Maybe some people did, but I wasn't close to that. I was in Union Square. Like I said, it was all concrete and clay, brother. It was all blacktop, out in the blacktop. What up, Mung? My favorite punk bands ever right there. Listen to Mung, kids. Mung are fantastic. If you like, I'm trying to think like bands that are popular today. If you like any of the punk bands, any of these poppy punk bands that are big today, Mung from Boston, early to mid 90s, they were the shit. They were one of my favorites. Still, to this day, one of my favorites. Lucky enough to have made friends with those dudes, too. And I was fanboying when I first met them. They all know it, too, I'm sure. Whatever. Even though my version of fanboying might be a little different, I'm kind of a dickhead, as it were. Yeah, man, that's another cool thing about living up here, funny enough, talking about punk rock, man, is this is like a little punk rock retirement community for all us 30 and 40-somethings, man. I'm like a lot of the kids who hung out in Allston, and Somerville, and Cambridge, and Boston, back in the 90s and early 2000s, the aughts, if you will, daddy, are all moving up here, man, a whole bunch of us. And it's cool. We're all like kind of neighbors. I love that. I love bumping into them downtown when I'm walking around. I love hitting them up. I myself don't go out much. I love my home. I love watching my stories. I love eating my food at home. I'm not much for going out to eat. I'm all for dropping it off on my porch and going out and getting it. It's one of the cool things about COVID, I suppose, is I don't have to actually greet the delivery driver other than send them a text and say thank you. If you're a socially awkward person, which I guess is sort of shocks people that I am awkward. And funny enough, I've always been kind of awkward in settings around food. Probably because I've always been a big guy, and having people watch me eat always weirded me out because I always feel like people are watching the fat guy eat. I don't know. It's just something that bugged me out. Also, if you notice, it's why I try to eat small around people and not gorge myself because, I hear what people say. It is what it is, and I probably say the same thing when I see somebody, eating. It's just, human nature is what it is. So I always try to do stuff alone. Anyway, slight potential overshare. So hey, other thing I've noticed, speaking of punk rock retirement community, lately, I don't know, there's probably tons of good new young rock and roll artists out there. I caught one band called Playboy Man Baby that somebody recommended me. It might have been Colin Campbell. It might have been somebody, I forget who. Shout out to Colin, Mr. COA. Love you, brother. You are you are one of those people who two things can be true at once. You can be one of the friendliest and most intimidating people right at the same time. And I've always found that just so insanely awesome and charming. And it's just such a Boston characteristic. Some of you folks who know Colin, he's a larger-than-life personality, a larger-than-life dude, just a big fella who can definitely go, let me tell you. I'm not trying to I'll leave out any details, of course, but he's a tough guy. He'll even tell you it. But he's also, you know what I mean. If he likes you and you're his peeps, he lets you know it too. And should be a big shout out to Colin. Anyway, I think it was him that posted a link to a band called Playboy Man Baby, and I think they're fantastic. What a great band. But I'm noticing all these older groups, man, are making new stuff. Somebody, my buddy Markland, dropped a link to the new Guns N' Roses, and I liked it. I didn't hate it. It was fine. I realized it was called Hard School, and they spelled school, SKOOL, and I think it was the fact that they spelled school like that kind of bugged me. I used to hang out with a guy who I don't like anymore, who used to spell things like that on purpose just because he thought he was cool. And it reminded me of him. It made me automatically have a little bit of an aversion to the song. But it was fine. It was nothing groundbreaking. It was just, pardon me, folks. Sorry. Yeah, a little congested this morning. It's it's been seasonably brisk. My body's getting used to the temperature change, as it were. Yeah, it's not a bad song, but on the flip side of that, AC/DC came out with a new album earlier this year, and wow, let me tell you guys, a band that's been doing this for almost 50 years, or probably over 50 now at this point. They just released what's probably one of my top 10, top 15, maybe even. Yeah, I guess I'd say top 15 because I love that band so much. And I love everything they did with Bond so much. I'd say it was like a top 10 or top 15 song. That they have a new song that I just think is brilliant. And I think they just released a video for it called Through the Mists of Time. And I just love this song so much. It's definitely my favorite song of the last few years. By anybody. Anyone. I just love this song so much. I'm a huge AC/DC fan too. They were one of the bands I first fell in love with as a young guy. Not one of the big three for me. The big three are Springsteen, Kiss, and Van Halen. But AC/DC are right there, probably picking up the 4th spot. And then Zeppelin and a few others. Anyway, another one in that big top spot is Deep Purple, who came up with new stuff. Man, Deep Purple, other dudes, they're pushing. They're in their 70s, man. And they're making new record. It's like, and that came out. I want to say last year around this time it might have came out, or maybe either last fall, winter maybe. But holy shit, it's great. It's so good. Check that out if you can. Something I haven't checked out, but a friend told me I should check it out, is the new Bob Zombie. Rob Zombie has a new thing out, and I gotta check it out. I wasn't nuts about the last Rob Zombie movie, unfortunately. I think I saw 3 from Hell, and I really wanted to love it because I loved House of a Thousand Corpses. Thought that was so much fun. And I love Devil's Rejects. Whoa, I love that movie. I mean, it was just horrible, gory silliness, but it was just... I feel like he tapped into what people loved about, like, Texas Chainsaw, and what people loved about, like, Friday the 13th and those late 70s horror flicks. I feel like he tapped into that with those 2 movies, with the soundtrack, with the dialogue, even with some of the actors. I feel like the actors got to tap into that, probably naturally and maybe by osmosis, but maybe by the way Mr. Bob Zombie directs. But I love those movies so much and was very disappointed by the 3rd. Hey, everybody's hit or miss. I hope his next one is great. I appreciate Mr. Bob Zombie for all his work. Well, folks, I'll tell you, I don't really have too much else going on this week like I did last week. It was a very eventful week last week for me, with taking my trip and going to New York and hanging with Tony and going to Coney and all that. This week I just worked and had a solid work week. It was fine. Nothing really to write home about. Your typical... Some days were great. Some days were, I only cut up my finger once trying to fix the hot chocolate machine because, God forbid, the hot chocolate isn't working. I mean, nothing too eventful, nothing too great. The kids at work are great to me, and I try to reciprocate and be great to them. My coworkers, I have some coworkers I absolutely adore, and they make a day a lot easier for me. And big shout out to the staff at FOHO. You know who you are. I've been kind of like secret squirrel about where I work, but just know that I've dropped hints. I don't even really know why I'm being secret squirrel about it, because if you're listening to this, chances are you know. But the place I work with, I might the overall umbrella. Sometimes I might I might scratch my head on. My direct management, the person I work for, is the fucking man, is the best. And shout out to Mr. Phil. Shout out to all my coworkers there, because they're dead cool. They're good people. Great. I like going in there. When you actually know you're going to be around people that you enjoy, it makes going to work a lot easier. So that's cool. Really, I guess I don't have much else for you guys today. I'm clocking this in a little less than last week, and I hope it's not disappointing. I hope I'm not bringing anybody down with lackluster content, if you will. Ranting and raving about the things that I rant and rave about, the heart and mind of the Uncleboi. Just doing my thing. So without any further ado, I like to I like to end now doing the shout outs. That was something I didn't really know I was going to be doing, but I'm going to do that now. I'm going to start giving some shout outs. Yo, so big shout outs. It was son and daughter day last week. So big shout outs to my godson and my goddaughter, my niece and nephew, Selena Maya and Connor Thomas. My show is called the Uncleboi Show, and for a reason, because the love that fills me being an uncle has changed who I am as a person. Forever. And those kids, every day, even though they're in Orlando and I'm up here in Salem, every day I wake up, I count my blessings when I have my coffee, and the first two faces that pop into my head are those two. I don't think that anyone will ever realize, that power until you feel it. And man, the power of love, man, is Huey Lewis knew. He told us all. You know what did Huey Lewis tell us? Huey Lewis told us the news, baby. And the power of love is a curious thing. Let me tell you. The power of love is something else. And thank you, both of you, for being the best niece and nephew ever. Uncleboi, can't wait to go down and see you again. And I'll stop whimpering over here like a sap, because I do that once again. Quick to laughs, quick to tears, just who I am. A few more shout outs here. I'd like to give let's see. Who could use a shout out, really? Drop some comments on me. If you, basically, if you want me to give you a shout out, I should say. Big shout out to my mom and dad, to Kathy and Ed Hardy. Big shout out to my aunt and uncle, Denny and Helena Hardy. Big shout out to my Aunt Beth and Uncle Mike. Big shout out to Uncle John and Aunt Linda. Big shout out Auntie Ellen. Big shout out Auntie Mary. Big shout out to all y'all. Uncleboi loves you. And I hope everybody has a great Saturday, great weekend, great week. You keep doing your damn thing, okay? You guys keep pushing forward, okay? And you know what? Be the hero of your story, because your story is yours, okay? Some of us, we all have our bumps in the road. For me, it's eating shitty food. I love it too much. I know it's horrible. I'm addicted to it. I'm addicted to sugar. I'm addicted to bread. I'm addicted to the things that make me a big bloated mess of a human. But man, I'm trying, folks. I really am. I'm trying to curb it. And I'm doing slightly better with it. Another big shout out to my brother Sean Murphy, who's helping me do better with it. A big shout out to all the people out there who are struggling. You know what I mean? We can do this thing. But man, try to keep that positive mindset, Diamond Dallas Page, big shout out to Diamond Dallas Page. I try not to shout out famous people, but he says something that really stuck with me. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you deal with it. Live in the 90, brother. I don't think I could drop any better knowledge on anyone than that. Live in the 90. You know what I mean? Do it. All right? Well, I think that's pretty much it, man. I don't have a whole lot more for you. I'm clocking this in just around 45 minutes, and I hope everybody has yourself a good day, a good week, a good everything, all right? Keep pushing forward. Always try to stay positive. Always try. And don't let the bastards grind you down. Because they will try. And they will. Trust me, they will try. But what you have to do, at least what I do, especially if they're being nasty about it, is to look them in the face and laugh really crazy. act nuts because it scares the shit out of them when you're not afraid of them. It scares the shit because they're so afraid in their life. The reason why they're being nasty to you is because they themselves have pretty much lost. They themselves have pretty much admitted that this is who they are and this is how they're going to treat people. So you just call their bluff. That's it. That's at least it's worked for me on certain occasions. Anyways, all those things said, I hope everybody's doing well. And make sure, always wash your ass. Keep your fucking pucky clean. Keep your pucky clean, kids. It's really important. You need to wash your ass. Nobody wants to be around a stinky ass person. Wash your ass. Your mother will be happy. And Uncleboi will be happy. All right. Here it is, October 2nd, 2021, the year of our Lord. You be well. Uncleboi, over and out.